Wah, wah. So this morning I got up and fired up the tractor and was planning to head into the woods here to haul out some logs. I don't know if you can see there's some trees that I'd cut down previously, some logs on the ground and a bunch of debris. I need to get all of that crap out of the way because then I need to cut down a bunch more trees, but I want to get the stuff on the ground out of the way so that it's safer to cut down the trees and easier to drag the next set of logs out. So I was driving in here on the tractor and I don't know, got to around here somewhere and I think I hit one of these logs. No, it's not even a log, it's a little branch. Anyway, I don't know if you can see here, but there's a streak of hydraulic fluid on the ground. And it turns out when I hit that log, I had, oh, and I don't know. So the problem I had with the tractor yesterday, where I had driven over a piece of dead wood, which had smashed into, crunched the hydraulic fluid filter, caused a pipe to torque, caused a piece of hydraulic hose to separate. I was a pain in the back end to fix. Could not get it fixed yesterday. This morning, I went to an auto parts store to buy a new piece of hydraulic hose. And like, it's a little piece of rubber hose like this that is connecting about a 7/8 inch metal pipe on this side and a 7/8 inch metal pipe on this side. And it gives it a little flex and they don't line up quite right. And so this rubber hose is supposed to help that, make that work. So I went to the auto parts store to get a piece like the one on the tractor, which is not this, the one on the tractor, but like half an inch longer. The trouble was I was able to get it on one side or get it on the other side, and then I'd put the hose clamps on and it wouldn't stay clamped in place. So went to the auto parts store, wanted to buy another piece of hose just like that, but like half an inch longer or an inch longer. Well, apparently it was a weird size. They didn't have it, and I couldn't use radiator hoses for hot water, but not for, it's not petroleum certified or something, whereas the hydraulic hose is. So they didn't have it. They referred me to a nearby store that sells hydraulic supplies. Like, that's all they do. Pumps and fittings and hoses. And so I talked to them, told them what I needed, told them what my problem was, and they confirmed that the hose is an odd size. What probably is the case is that the tractor, it's an LS tractor, it's made in South Korea, the hose size is probably metric. So they didn't have it either. They had something a similar size, which is this, and it's, the piece on the tractor is about a half an inch shorter than this. Half an inch shorter than this. This thing here. But in talking to the guy there who sold me this, I thought about sort of the problem. The problem with this is the hose I bought to replace the one on the tractor. This is very rigid and stiff. It's not nearly as flexible as what's on the tractor. So I came back here and I thought the first thing I'm going to do is try again with the hose that came on the tractor that I was having so much trouble with yesterday. But now I've thought about it a little more and I ended up getting it fixed. And the problem was that if you imagine this hose, and there's something similar to this on the tractor, but it's a little shorter. And the gap that it's trying to fill is like this. and there's enough room for a hose clamp on each end. Well, what I did today that is different than what I was doing yesterday, and the problem yesterday was everything was just covered with hydraulic fluid, and hydraulic fluid is it's petroleum based, it's slippery. Um, so I'd put a clamp on here and start tightening it down, and if and it was inevitably sliding in just a little bit, but as soon as it slid in just a little bit, it was sliding off the end of that metal pipe and separating, pushing the joint apart. All I did differently today, well, two things. First, I took a rag and cleaned the pipes, the metal pipes off well to get all the hydraulic fluid off of them as much as I could. And the hose itself was also, had already been cleaned. So the stuff wasn't as slippery. Then, when I put the hose clamps on, you know, they tighten over the end of the pipe. I made sure I held the hose clamp in place right at the end of the pipe, right at the end of the rubber hose, and kept it in place there. That kept the hose clamp squeezing the hose over the metal pipe, not over here a little bit, squeezing the, I don't know if you can see the difference. When it worked, the hose clamp was wrapped right around the end, which is what I did today. When it didn't work, the hose clamp was down here and it was sort of squeezing the metal pipe out of the tube. So now I have two hose clamps right at the end, right at the very end of the tube. They're squeezing onto the metal pipes. So far, so good. I was able to fill the reservoir with hydraulic fluid. I ran all the equipment, all the hydraulics, everything ran. Actually, I didn't move the tractor. I haven't tested the transmission yet. But it seems like the problem is solved. So if it turns out it didn't work, I may not tell you about it. We'll see.